it all comes down in the end, in terms of these society controlling institutions, to what I call the global cult, which is a global network of secret societies and semi-secret groups with ultimately, if you go deep enough in the rabbit hole, a mission control, a central organizational center. This explains why countries tend to respond to the same kind of situations in extraordinarily the same way. The thing is, if you're talking about control and the need to control, then you look at society as it's structured, and control is overwhelmingly dictated by money. Who has it and who doesn't? And if you look at a definition of freedom, well, it's choice. The more choices you can make, the freer you are. The fewer choices you can make, the less free you are. And in the way that society is structured today, what dictates choice more than anything than money? Who has it and who doesn't? So I hear people talk about how the billionaires and the billionaire corporations, etc., are all about money. But, well, yes, on one level, they have a mentality that is as an insatiable greed. But the bottom line of bottom lines is not about accumulation of money. It's accumulation of control via the weapon of money. And when you look at how this cult, in all its different expressions, brought in the money system to what it is today, it's founded on creating money out of nothing called credit and charging interest on it. You know, you go into a bank and you say, borrow £100,000. Well, in theory. Well, the bank doesn't do anything in terms of moving precious metal around or any of this stuff. It puts into your account £100,000 called credit that has never, does not, and will never exist except in theory. And then it says, for doing that, we're going to charge you interest. And if you don't pay back the principal and the interest on credit, then we are going to take your wealth that does exist, your house, your business, your land, whatever. And if you look at this creation of money, even in theory, when you go to a bank and you get a loan, you will borrow £100,000 in theory, and they will put £100,000 into your account. But you're not paying back £100,000. You're paying back £100,000 plus interest. The interest is never created, only the principal, even in this theoretical way. And thus, by design, not accident, there is never at any point enough units of exchange, money, in whatever form it takes, in circulation to pay back all the principal on the debt outstanding and all the interest on the debt outstanding. So absolutely included in the way it's structured is that people are going to lose their homes, they're going to lose their businesses because there's not enough money in circulation to pay back all the debt and all the interest on the debt. Now, when you have an expansion of the money supply and you have what we call a boom, what that means is, of course, that there's lots of money, theoretical, etc., in circulation. So there's more to spend on things. So companies need to make more things and provide more services because of the demand. And with that expansion, you can hide in the Peter pays Paul uh, method the fact that there's not enough money in circulation to pay back all the interest on the debt and all the principal. But when, and this is done systematically by that which is behind the banking system, they start withdrawing money from circulation, like in 2008, the credit crunch. They just stopped giving out loans of money that only existed in theory, called credit crunch. People couldn't service their debt. They couldn't pay back their bills. And thus it becomes painfully obvious in a recession, in a downturn, that there's not enough money in circulation to pay back all the interest and all the principal on the debt. And so this is a process that's gone on since this form of banking started, where you expand the economy, and what happens in that time? People take out more loans. They get more confident. They maybe expand their business because of demand. They maybe buy a bigger house. They maybe have 2 holidays a year instead of 1, and so on. These are the good times. But what's happening there from the banking system point of view, the whole, is the fishing line is going out. And then they start taking money out of circulation. So there's not enough, as there was before, to buy the things that generated the boom, that generated the need to loan more money to meet the demand of the boom. And the fishing line then goes back in. And what's happening is in this process all the way through is that there has been a constant exchange through this boom-bust cycle of real wealth in exchange for fresh air money called credit. And this is a massive, massive foundation reason why we talk today about the 1%. When you have literally a handful of people who have equivalent wealth to the poorest half of the global population, and it's not based on reality. It's based on this manipulating of the money system.